In the heart of the arid savanna, a faint cry led the way to a journey of saving a fragile little soul. The vast, untamed African savanna stretched as far as the eye could see. A landscape where herds of antelope migrated with the changing seasons and ancient elephants lumbered across parched fields. It was in this wild expanse that a small but poignant story quietly unfolded, touching the hearts of those who witnessed it. As dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, a team of rangers from the Savannah Conservation Center set out on their routine patrol. Their mission was to check for traps and ensure the safety of the diverse wildlife that called this harsh yet beautiful land home. Little did they know that this ordinary day would soon become extraordinary. The morning air was still crisp when a sound caught their attention. A faint, pained whimper carried on the gentle breeze. Intrigued and concerned, the rangers followed the sound. Their footsteps careful and measured as they approached a low shrub near the forest edge. There, beneath the protective branches of an acacia tree, lay a sight that tugged at their heartstrings. A lion cub, more than 3 months old, collapsed and barely moving. The young lion's condition was dire. Its small frame was thin and weak, a testament to days without proper nourishment. The cub's eyes, though clouded with exhaustion, held a flicker of life, a silent plea for help. It was clear that this little one had somehow become separated from its mother or pride. It's left to face the unforgiving wilderness alone. Daniel, one of the more experienced rangers on the team, knelt beside the cub for a closer look. His trained eyes quickly noticed something alarming. The cub's nose was swollen and red, and it kept rubbing its face against its foreleg as if in terrible pain. With a heavy heart, Daniel recognized the signs of a parasitic infection. Larvae had burrowed deep into the cub's nasal cavity, a condition that, while not uncommon in weakened young animals, could quickly turn fatal if left untreated. Without a moment's hesitation, the team sprang into action. With gentle hands, they wrapped the fragile cub in a thick blanket, cradling it as if it were the most precious cargo in the world. Time was of the essence, and they knew they had to get the young lion to their temporary rescue station as quickly as possible. As they rushed across the savannah in their rescue vehicle, the cub let out small cries of discomfort. Its wide, dazed eyes darted around, unable to comprehend the sudden change in its circumstances. The rangers spoke in soft, soothing tones, hoping to calm the frightened creature even as they raced against time. But nature had one more challenge in store for them. The previous night's rain had left patches of treacherous mud across the landscape, and suddenly, their vehicle found itself mired in the soft earth, as several team members leaped out to push and lift the stuck wheels. Daniel remained inside, holding the cub close to his chest. In those quiet moments, as the others worked to free the vehicle, a connection formed between man and beast. Daniel's body warmth seeped into the cub's cold form, and he carefully dripped water onto its dry, cracked lips.
Nice.
The cub's eyes, once filled with fear,
House.
now looked up at Daniel with something akin to trust, a silent acknowledgement of the kindness being shown. When at last they arrived at the rescue station, a flurry of activity ensued. The veterinarian on duty quickly assessed the situation and administered a light anesthesia to the cub. With steady hands and unwavering focus, the vet began the delicate process of removing the parasitic larvae from the cub's nasal cavity. The team watched with bated breath as a maggot the size of a small bean was carefully extracted. A collective sigh of relief filled the air, but their work was far from over. The wound was thoroughly cleaned, medications were administered, and the cub was given much-needed fluids to combat dehydration. In the days that followed, the lion cub's recovery became the center of everyone's world at the rescue station. They named him Taji, meaning crown in Swahili, a name that spoke of the noble future they all hoped lay ahead for this brave little survivor. Taji's progress was slow but steady. Each day brought new signs of improvement, a little more strength in his limbs, a bit more alertness in his eyes, a growing appetite that spoke of his will to live. The team took turns caring for him around the clock, ensuring he received the nourishment and attention he needed to thrive. As weeks passed, Taji grew stronger and more playful. His personality began to shine through, curious, affectionate, full of the mischievous energy that all young lions possess. It was a joy to watch him explore his surroundings, pouncing on leaves and stalking imaginary prey with the seriousness only a cub can muster. After 3 weeks of intensive care, the day finally came when Taji was deemed strong enough for the next phase of his journey. The team had made arrangements for him to be relocated to a large wildlife reserve, a place specially designed to care for orphaned lions in a semi-wild environment. Here Taji would have the chance to grow and learn the skills he would need to one day return to the wild. The morning of Taji's departure was bittersweet. The entire rescue team gathered to say their goodbyes, each feeling a mix of sadness at seeing him go and pride in how far he had come. Daniel, who had formed a special bond with the cub, knelt beside Taji one last time. Gently placing his hand on the cub's head, Daniel leaned in close and whispered words that seemed to bridge the gap between human and animal. "You're not alone anymore, Taji. You're strong, you're brave, and you have a whole world waiting for you out there." As Taji was carefully loaded into the transport vehicle, the team stood watching, their hearts full of hope for his future. They knew that the journey ahead would not be easy. The wild is never without its challenges, but they had given Taji the best possible chance at a full and free life. The story of Taji is more than just a tale of one cub's survival against the odds. It stands as a powerful reminder that every life in the wild, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, deserves protection and compassion. In a world that often seems harsh and unforgiving, it shows us that kindness can flourish in the most unexpected places, in the determined efforts of conservation teams, in the gentle hands of those who dedicate their lives to wildlife, and in the resilient spirit of a young lion fighting to survive. As the transport vehicle disappeared into the distance, carrying Taji towards his new life, the team at the rescue station turned back to their work. They knew that somewhere out in the vast savannah, another animal might be in need, another life hanging in the balance. They would be ready, just as they had been for Taji, to answer that call with open hearts and helping hands. For in the end, it is these small acts of compassion, these quiet battles fought for the sake of life itself, that truly define our humanity. In the eyes of a rescued lion cub, and in the tireless efforts of those who fight to protect the wild, we see reflected the very best of what we can be: guardians of the fragile, voices for the voiceless, and stewards of the magnificent tapestry of life that surrounds us all.